Kathy Tadaldi, and I work here at the Denham Springs branch of the Livingston Parish Library. And I am here to show you how to make some pop-up cards in time for Valentine's Day. Of course, you can use these for any occasion, but the ones that we made are for Valentine's Day. You can give it to your true love, or you can just give it to some friend. You can give it to anybody, and it'll cheer them up and make their day a little bit brighter. So I wanted to show you what I have here. This one opens up sideways, and pop, there you go. Kind of jumps out at you. Be mine. You can write any message you want in that one. And this one opens up sideways, and it's a present that's letting hearts out. So I had a lot of fun making these, but they're way easier than you would think. I want to show you exactly how to do it, and you can make yours as unique as you want to with different types of decorations that you might want to put on it. So now I'm going to show you how to cut the cards and how to cut the paper out. If you want to come in, I'll show you this is what you need. I used cardstock. You can also use just plain old construction paper or regular paper if you have it at home. I also have hearts here. I'm going to show you how to cut out hearts, and then some colored markers and some glue and some scissors. I like to use my knife and my straight edge to get my edges nice and straight, but if you don't have that at home, scissors and a ruler will be just fine. So now I'm going to start and show you how to make one. We're going to do this one first. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this white paper down a little bit, because as you can see I have a little border of pink showing on the inside. So I'm going to cut about 3/4 of an inch, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. Cut about that much off. I'll save that and use that in a minute. Again, I'm going to cut it off the side here, and when you split that in half, we're just going to have a little pink edge showing inside of the card. Now, if you don't have a nice sharp razor knife, be careful if you do have one. Be careful, 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 especially if you're a child watching this. Make sure there's an adult to help you. You can just draw a line with a pencil and then cut it with scissors. Now, I'm going to fold this in half, corner to corner. And then I'm going to use my knife. Some people like to go out and buy a little fancy crease maker, but I think a nice Sharpie works just fine. Now for the white one, I'm going to go in both directions and make a double crease. I'm going to crease it back and forth. You'll see why in a minute. Make sure it's well bent. And then the pink sheet, here it is. I already folded that in half. It's ready to go. I just folded it one way. And when I put them together, my border is going to be about like that when I glue it together. Now for the magic. I'm going to show you how to cut it so that it pops up. You take a pencil, and I'm going to measure in from the sides on the crease part. I'm going to measure in 1.5 inches from each side. Make a little tiny pencil mark. It's not going to show, it's going to be on the back. 1.5 inches there, 1.5 inches here, and go up a little ways, about another 1.5 inches, and make that same mark again. 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. And then you're going to cut, you're going to use those lines to guide you, and you're going to make another mark at 1.5 inches. That's where you're going to end your cut, both sides. You can actually draw your line if you want to be really careful. And now I find it's just as easy to use your scissors and cut along the line that you've drawn. If you want to use a knife, you can. And you stop at the line. Now you're going to fold it. You're going to take that piece of paper and fold it forward. Use your little creaser again. And then you're going to fold it backward. Fold it in both directions. And then open it up. And when you open it further, you can pop it out with your fingers so that it's going forward and the other crease is going backward. See there? You've got your first little stair step. It's kind of like making bleachers. Now, with that fold made, we're going to do it again, but we're not going to go in quite as far. This time, we're going to go in about a 1/2 inch from either side. About a 1/2 inch here, and about a 1/2 inch here. And then we're going to go forward, well, let's see. We're going to go up about 3/4 of an inch. Now that you've made those marks, you're going to take your scissors and cut a straight line up to that line. Both sides. Now you've made your second little stair step. You're going to fold this one forward. You're going to fold both sides forward and backward. It's a little bit thick right there, so make sure you get it nice and well folded. You fold it forward and backward on both sides, and then you open it up just enough to push those folds forward, inverted, both of them. There you go, so that it looks like this on the inside, and then when you open it, you have this lovely little stair step. And that's where you're going to start gluing your hearts. So, I'm going to show you how to make the hearts. I have a really simple method. Well, actually, I have an even simpler method, but I'm going to show you an easy way to make hearts. Cut a little square of pink paper here. And you fold it corner to corner. You fold it with one corner being in the center of the fold, like so. And then you pretend that you're cutting out an ice cream cone. You don't even have to draw a line. If you want to, you can, but you could just cut it as if you're trying to make an ice cream cone. Ice cream cone, heart. You can smooth the corners a little bit. Get it as perfect as you want. There you go. And there is a perfect pink heart. Once again, if you want to curve it off a little bit, there's a great heart to put into your card. Now, I'm going to use this time, I'm going to show you what I did. At the library, we have what we call a Cricut machine, and it is wonderful for cutting out all sorts of things. I made hearts on the Cricut machine, and I have mountains of hearts now. I made pinks and reds and whites, and so we're going to use the glue stick to put the hearts in our card. If you want to come down to the library, you're welcome to come and use our Cricut machine. You can cut hearts and stars and dragons and anything you want. We have a huge selection of things that you can cut. If you have a drawing of your own that you want to cut out, you can do that as well. The Cricut machine is free to use. You just have to bring your own materials, and one of the lovely staff members in our Idea Lab will show you and get you set up so that you too can have a mountain of hearts for your card if you want to come down and use the Cricut machine. All right, now we have our card setup made. The next thing to do is to glue it into the pink card before we start gluing our hearts on. So you line it up along the crease. Get your glue. Now I'm using a glue stick. If you don't have one, you can also use just white school glue, but I like the glue sticks. They're neat and easy to use, and I just put it all over one side. Do it one side at a time. I put the glue all over one side of my white paper. Right out to the corner. Make sure my border is fairly straight, and then I simply close the card on it. Now, up. Get all the glue down. Might need a little more on the corner here. All right, so we've got one side glued and it's right up against the crease there. I'm going to close it and put glue on the other side. You're not gluing, you've got your little bleachers, your little stair steps out of the way. You're not gluing them. That part's going to stay loose. And then right up to the corners. And I'm going to close the card on it. All right, I think we've got all of our corners glued nicely. We've got a nice little border around there. And now you can start. Now is a good time if you want to write. Use your color markers that you've got. You can write your message on the inside. You can write, I love you. This one says, be mine. And you can be as fancy as you want to be. If you want to cut out letters and put them in there, or if you want to embellish it a little bit, you can even use a Cricut machine to cut out letters if you want to get real fancy. If you come to the library and use a Cricut machine, they'll show you how to make letters. And then all you have to do is start gluing your hearts on. I like to glue them on the edge of the part that's going to stand up there. Over the edge. You don't really want it to look like stair steps. You want it to look like a bunch of hearts just popped out at you. You can glue hearts on top of hearts if you want to. I had a lot of fun with this part. You can just go crazy with it. And you can glue them all around the side if you want to put if you want to put some flowers and daisies and bees and anything that you want to put on your card, you're welcome to decorate it. I even put some little sparkles on the other card. I'm going to show you that one in a minute. Now you want to put some on the background, but you really want to decorate the part that has the stair steps. So you just keep on gluing hearts down. Make sure, here's one thing to watch for. Close it from time to time and make sure your hearts don't stick out the bottom. You don't want the hearts to show. You don't want to spoil the surprise. When they open it, you want the hearts to pop up then. So, see, this one's about as high as I could get it without it showing. So, you just keep on gluing on your hearts until you have something that looks kind of like that. And that is how you make a pop-up. Of course, you decorate the front. I'm going to show you, all I did to make that big white heart was just like I showed you with the first one. Folded my paper so that the two sides met. Let's draw a little snowball. Cut along that curve. And there's a perfect heart. Make sure it fits your card. There you go, and then you can glue other hearts onto that one. And this is what you're going to end up with. Or any way you want to. I used a little marking pen. You can write something on the front if you'd like to, and when it pops up, it's delightful to open. So, it's fun to make and it's fun to open. You could make those for everyone that you know and love, or even if you just like them, it'll cheer up their day. I'm going to show you how to make the other card now. That one is purple. Let me get my purple paper out. I have two shades here. One's going to be the outside and one's going to be the inside. All right, now we're going to work on the other card, which is, I put the smaller piece on the outside for this one. So the inside is going to get the cutout part that makes it look like a box. And to do that, we're going to, instead of pink, I'm going to use the light purple. We're going to have the dark purple on the inside and the light purple on the outside. So I'm going to cut it, I'm going to cut a little bit more off because I like that big border on that one. So I'm going to cut about an inch off of the side of each one of these. Here's my, there we go. So I can have a nice border about a ½ inch around. I cut an inch off because that's going to be for both sides. This mat is really nice because it has the measurements on it for you. All right, so I've got an inch cut off of each side there. Once again, I'm going to fold it in half. This is going to be the outside. There's my handy crease maker. That's going to be the outside. This is going to be the inside. I'm going to fold this in half. Now this is the one I'm going to fold both ways so that the box will know to go inside whenever I cut it. For this one I'm going to go up about a ½ inch. Of course I have it marked right here. I'm going to go up a ½ inch. Well, let's say 3/4 inch from the bottom. I want it a little higher than that. So 3/4 inch from the bottom. Go ahead and use my ruler for that because I want to cut. I'm going to go 2 1/2. I'm going to make my box 2 1/2 inches square. So 3/4 inch, and I'm going to go 2 1/2 inches out. 1, 2 1/2. So right there is where I'm going to cut to. That'd be easier to see if it wasn't on dark paper, but that's where I'm going to cut to. And then I'm going to go 2 1/2 inches up. 1, 2 1/2, 1, 2 1/2, yes, 2 1/2 inches up so my box is square. And then I'm going to go 2 1/2 inches out. 1, 2 1/2 inches out. That's going to be how I'm going to cut it for the box. And using scissors for this, you could have used the knife, whatever you feel most comfortable with. This is basically like we did when we made the stair steps for the other one, but this is just one big cut because we're going to have one box that pops open. Now, if you want to make it bigger or smaller, just make sure it's not more than half of your width, because if it was, it would stick out the front of the box. So now that you've made your cuts, once again, you're going to fold it one direction, and then turn and fold it the other direction, making your creases nice and tight, nice and crisp. Because when you open it up, you want to pop it forward. And there's your box coming open. Now, to make it look more like a box, what we're going to do is we're going to put some box flaps on it. You see I did that for this one. Also put a little ribbon as if it had a bow, as if it was wrapped. So I'm going to cut some box flaps out of this purple. Let me get another sheet of, this is the darker purple. And I'm just going to roughly, they're going to be 2 1/2 inches long. So let me go ahead and measure that. 1, 2 1/2. I'm going to cut a square about 2 1/2 by 2 1/2. And then I'm going to cut that in half so I can make 2 box flaps. And I'm going to fold each one in half. This is not an exact. This part can be a little off. It doesn't have to be perfect for the box flaps. What you do want to do, though, is you want to cut in a little bit for the flap. You want to, instead of being perfectly square, you want it to go in a little bit, and that way the card opens and shuts a little more easily after you glue it on. So both of them, I'm going to cut in a little bit, just angle that box flap in. Make sure that it fits around the box. Actually, that's a little bit long. We're going to trim it just about 1/16 of an inch off there. so it fits on the box easily. Make my cut a little. All right, now I'm going to take some of my glue, get my glue stick. I'm going to glue this to the inside edge of the box. Right here. And this one over on this side. You'll see what I mean about the little angle cut that I made. It's going to go on the outside. See that? See there? Now when that's folded down and you shut your card, it shuts easily. Make sure that it does. Each time you glue things on, make sure it's shutting well. You want to just keep checking it, and then when it opens, the flaps come open. If it's too long, you might want to trim it a little bit more so that your card opens and shuts easily. All right, just cut a little bit off of that box lid. So this is what it looks like open, but whenever it's closed, there you go. Looks like a box. Now, if you want to put a little ribbon on it, you can take some scraps, or you can take a piece of your paper that you already cut from and just cut a little strip to be ribbon. Also, you might find it handy. I like to use a piece of scrap paper when I'm gluing so I don't get glue all over my board. So if you're gonna have a little excess glue, you want it to be on some scrap paper. So I'm gonna put this on the box, like it's got a little ribbon on it. If you want to use real ribbon, now that would be a fun idea. You can decorate this with ribbon, or you can put the little jewel sparkles on it, glitter. You can use sequins. Anything that you would like to use that's going to dress up your card, you're welcome to try it out. It's fun to be creative. All right, so I'm going to cut that off even with the bottom of the box. There we go. Now it looks like someone untied the ribbon. And if you wanted to put a little bow on there, just make sure it lies flat when you shut the card. Now, to get the hearts on there, you remember when I saved these a while ago? This is what I'm going to use for the part that pops up out of the box. I'm going to make a line. I'm going to put it near the bottom of the box, and then put a line right here. This is the part that's going to be glued onto the box, and then I'm going to cut it off. You don't want it going up above the card, so that's how high we're going to glue the hearts on it. Same thing for the other side. Put it in there. About the same height. And I'm going to just start gluing hearts on like crazy. Let me put my scrap paper up here. Put a nice thick layer of glue on it and start putting on different colored hearts. And they can be over and under. You can add more glue if you want to put one on top of that. You just want it to look like hearts are everywhere. Put a white one in there. Let's put a little pink one up here on top of the red one. I've got 2 shades of pink. Let's see, I'll put a big one down here. Put a little one underneath that. Well, that one's on top. Put this one underneath. We kind of want to hide all of that white. You can always add more glue if you want. If the glue starts to dry, you definitely want to add some more so that everything stays put. And then let's put another bright pink one over here to the side. Can't have too many hearts. Okay, lots of hearts. See, I got my scrap paper catching all the extra glue, and then I'm going to glue this right coming out of the box like so. Over here close. You want it to be able to shut, open and shut, so you want it about in the middle of the box. Put some glue on that white strip and tuck it down in here. Make sure that your card's going to open and shut around it. So there's one of your hearts. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make one over here. You do kind of want to watch that they don't come over the edge here. See, that one's kind of close, but you don't want it to come past the edge. You don't want. Of course, this one has a bigger border that's going to go around it. I think. Is that border bigger? Nope, nope, nope. That's the smaller one. Okay, so you don't want to go over the side there. Now for the next one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to glue some hearts on it. There's my scrap paper. All right, scrap paper. Over and under, just a variety of hearts. Like I said, you too can come down and use our Cricut machine and have as many hearts as you would like to put into your Valentine card, or you might have fun just cutting them out at home and making hearts and butterflies, flowers, anything that's going to make your card pretty. And every one of them is unique. No two are alike. Let's put a big white one. I started to do that one. And then another bright pink one right there. All right, make sure your white piece is all covered up for the most part. Move this out of the way for a second. We want it so that they're not bumping into each other when you open your card. All right, right there is where I'm going to glue it right in the middle. There we are. Shut, open. And now you can glue lots more hearts around the edges. I think it would be a good time to glue the outside on. While that's drying, you're just going to, the piece that you trimmed the edges, center it, get your glue stick and open up one side. Glue all around the part that you want to stick to the card, right up to the corners. You might use a little scrap paper to clean up any excess glue. Make sure things aren't being glued that don't need to be glued. That's why I say you open it and shut it from time to time. Get your border where you want it. A little higher than that. All right, there's the back. And then we're going to open it up and do the same thing on the front. A little bit of glue on there in a place that I don't want to be glued. Okay. Get your corners down good. See, it's working, it's working. That's what you're looking for. And now you can decorate it, glue some more hearts on the inside. Leave room for your message. You want to write, I love you, happy Valentine's Day, be mine, you're my best friend. And then on the front, you can take that big heart that we made earlier, you can glue that on the front. If you have some sequins and glitter and sparkles, you can decorate yours as fancy as you want. Here's the one that I made with the sparkles that we had left over from another program. Open it up and there's the hearts. There you go. And you're on your way to creating your own personal Valentine cards for all the people that you love. Everyone that you want to say Happy Valentine's Day to, you can make these cards. They're a lot of fun. You're not going to want to stop. Well, I hope you enjoyed learning how to make pop-up cards with us for Valentine's Day, and I hope that you'll stay safe and stay happy and keep reading.